Hello?
Hey, Josh, this is Michael, Tranquillity.
Oh, hi, how's it going?
Hey, man. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. Cool.
Well, awesome. Well, I've had about a week to be able to digest the brand new Dark Tranquillity album, Atoma, which comes out the first week of November through Century Media, and I just gotta say, I absolutely love what you guys are doing this time around.
Wow, cool, man. Thank you.
Oh, not a problem. So, what went into the songwriting for the new album?
Oh, wow. A lot of things. It's been, almost 3 years since the last album, and we've been on tour pretty much constantly. I guess we were just trying to figure out what we wanted to do, because these things don't really get easier with time, you know? As much as you would like to think that maybe experience and all this time we spent writing songs, over the years, has kind of taught us something, but it turns out it really hasn't. You still kind of start from scratch every time you begin the writing process of an album. But I guess we started the end of last year, compiling material, constructing songs, trying to come up with something that felt new and refreshing. You kind of start out going let's make an album that sounds nothing like anything we've ever done before, and just get away from ourselves as far as possible, because sometimes you do get tired of yourself and your sound and what it is that you do. So we start out like that, just to clear our minds and clear all the expectations. But then, of course, what happens is that whatever material we write, tend to pass through all of our individual filters, and the end result is always something that kind of sounds like Dark Tranquillity anyway. But it was long. I mean, more than a year and a half, I think, spent just kind of compiling material, constructing, simple structures of songs, just bouncing ideas back and forth. I think we had 20 songs at one point that we were going through, and kind of distilled that down to 12. And then once we had the 12, then we really started focusing on kind of making sure every song had that impact that we wanted, and kind of fine-tuned everything. So the better part of this year we spent just fine-tuning 12 songs and making sure everything just worked, and got into recording in the middle of the summer, which was not a good idea, spending every day in a studio with no windows. So it's kind of a weird thing, but it was stressful and torturous, but it turned out great. Eventually, once we kind of got over ourselves, and we started kind of enjoying recording, actually, and then of course being incredibly satisfied with the end result didn't hurt either.
Oh, very much so. And that's what I'm really appreciating about the new album is, of course, it has that patented Dark Tranquillity sound, but there is a lot more areas getting explored on the new album.
Yeah, I think so. Some of the stuff is kind of written on keyboard, basically. So it was all about what was the melody, what are the chord progressions that makes you feel something. So there's a lot of kind of emotional aspects, I think, to the album that maybe we haven't really done before. And I think that was something that really spoke to me early on when I started writing lyrics. It was just really powerful. It was sentimental. It was beautiful, but still kind of sad, and I don't know, it evokes a lot of different emotions. So I think it turned out to be a very, very different album because of it. And I think subconsciously, I guess that does come from some of the struggles we went through writing this album, and or just coming to the conclusion that we needed, we wanted to do another one.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that as well the more that I start digesting the album, because upon the first listen I always pay attention to the music first and foremost, and with every listen that comes after, I start to pay attention more and more to the production and the lyrics and everything else that goes into it. And when I pay attention to those lyrics, I definitely hear it from both positive and negative aspects. I mean, it does feel like there's some turmoil that's going on within the songs, but overall it doesn't feel hopelessness or anything like that.
No, I guess it comes from frustration of feeling hopeless, in a way, and there's a lot of frustration in there. But I don't know. I don't like to just be all out negative and I'm not really depressed, but I'm angry, and I'm frustrated. And I wish that there's something that we could do about whatever is going on in our lives and in our world and all that. So yeah, but it's more frustration, and I guess what I like when I listen to death metal, anything like really powerful emotional stuff, it's like for me it's a release. It kind of triggers something in me that makes me kind of feel better after going through an album of just pure frustration and anger. So I think that's something that I've always been attracted to. So that's something that I try to do with our band as well.
On that note, what was the last album to make you feel that way, to have that power and emotion?
Ooh, what the hell? Holy shit, what was that? I think like the last album that I listened to that was just really intense. I think I got into this band called Allegaon. I think it's like an American, really technical death metal band.
Oh, Allegiant, yes.
Really up. Yeah, there you go. That I just fucking loved, and I've been like listening to everything that I can get my hands on now. So I think that's the latest band that kind of made me go like, whoa, wow, this is something new, something intense, something really, really passionate and technical and cool and just innovative.
Yeah, that's always the music that I strive to find for my own personal enjoyment, let alone being able to promote, and that's why I was always drawn to Dark Tranquillity when I first discovered you with the Gallery, because you guys have...
All right.
Yeah, because you guys did this distinct sound that I never heard before, and throughout the career, of course, going back pre-Gallery and post-Gallery, just being able to see how far you guys have come, and especially with the new album, Atoma, it's just seeing all these years and all formulating in 2016 to write such killer music that really comes through such in an emotional way and that power as well.
Wow, thank you. I mean, as I said, it doesn't get any easier, but I guess sometimes you tend to, or you try at least to kind of focus on what it is that is important, because it's pretty easy to just put a bunch of cool metal riffs together and start screaming, and that will end up something decent and it would be fine. But I guess now that and that was when we were 25 and recorded, or 21 rather, when we recorded the Gallery. We were like that. We were like, well, this is awesome, let's do it. There was no hesitation, no trepidation, no kind of insight. You would just like spew out whatever was in you, and you had all the confidence in the world. Obviously, it's not like that anymore. When you get older, you start questioning every single move you make, every single thing every decision you make, all that stuff. And also, but that kind of makes you focus on the most important aspects of the songs, like what should the impact be like, when you listen to a song like this, and what is it that kind of strikes us the most when we listen to a song that we are writing, like what is the core of the song, like what's the purpose of it, like what should it do, should it make you feel, all that kind of stuff. And so I guess that's when experience comes in, when you can actually kind of identify that and focus on it and make sure that that's the main thing in a song, and kind of expand on it.
And with that said, for those who have not had the chance to be able to hear The Pitiless, or if they haven't gotten the chance to check out the new song, which premieres tomorrow, I'm not sure which one that's going to be yet, but...
It's going to be Atoma, the title track, yeah.
Oh, very cool. How would you describe that power and emotion that you guys are going for this time around?
I don't know. It's hard to describe it. I think you just gotta listen to it and see if it's if it speaks to you or not. But for us, I think it came out of, like at the beginning of the year, Martin Henriksson left the band, like one of our founding members. A lot of things we went through. We went through really long tours where maybe the motivation started lacking a little bit. So we started, questioning ourselves in many ways, especially after Martin left, and we were like, wow, what is it that we actually do, and how come he feels this way? How come, was it something we did? And we started questioning ourselves. Do we if these doesn't have the motivation to keep going, do we? And I think that kind of solidified the fact that this is what we love to do. This is what we kind of live for, because sometimes it is easy to forget how kind of lucky you are that you get to do the things you love, maybe almost like for a living, and you take things for granted. So I think we kind of started reevaluating what the band and our place in it, and the band's place in kind of like in music, and we started feeling good about that. and but at the same time, we also felt that we need to kind of prove our place here. Why are we allowed to make 11 albums? Why should we still be relevant? We have to kind of prove ourselves with every album, and even more so with each album every other year or so. And that puts a lot of pressure on us, I think. But it is just pressure that we put on ourselves. It's just like we want to improve, and we want to come up with that perfect album every single time, and we won't accept anything else. And I think that's one of the things that makes it so difficult to write nowadays. But at the same time, it should be hard, right? I mean, if it's too easy, then it's not good enough. It should be a struggle. It should be full of frustration and endless sleepless nights and conflict and all that stuff, because what happens is something amazing, once you actually come together and you finish a project like this.
And with the new album, were there any particular songs or moments on the album that were particular struggles, or was it just the overall experience of making the new album that brought on the struggles and eventually the strength to be able to make the album?
Yeah, I mean, yes, some of the more simpler songs or the most straightforward songs are the hardest ones. So Atoma, which is going to be the other song that everybody's going to hear tomorrow, is a really kind of straightforward. It's such a really, really catchy song. It has everything that it's so straightforward that it was really, really hard to write for it. Just to, give it the right spin, so to speak, vocally. Because the song musically is so direct and so like in your face that it was like I struggled with what to do with it. But I think it turned out to be a great song. But sometimes the easiest things are the hardest. And I think the hardest thing, I guess, is just to get out of your own, get over yourself, basically, and not question everything that you do, because it's so easy to just go like, hey, haven't I done this before? Haven't I written lyrics like this before? Haven't I done the exact same thing 200 times before? It's just a matter of like regaining that confidence and just going forward. I think, yeah. But it does show. I think you can hear it. You can hear the frustration and the music, and I still I can get that when I listen to it. I go like, oh, wow, this was what a release, like what a relief that we actually pulled through this time.
So what led to the album title?
Oh, there is. For me, it's always the hardest thing in the world. Just how do you come up with a title for an album, that consists of so much that you feel so strongly about? All of a sudden, like you have to kind of distill that down to a phrase or a word. It's really tough. For me, it's easier, I think, to have someone else do it, and that's normally what I do. I talk to Niklas about it. He reads all the lyrics, and we start talking about what is it really about? Like, what's your impression of it? Like, what's my idea behind it? What's the, that kind of thing. And he came up with the title of Atoma, which is a word that kind of means nothing. It has it's a Greek word actually that means kind of togetherness and unity. But also for me, it kind of means like the beginning of something, the core, the nucleus, and I guess like what Niklas found in the lyrics was that it kind of deals with who we are as a race. Like what do we do? Like what is our purpose? What is our driving force? Like what is it that we actually do? And what is our motivation for what do we do to each other and to ourselves? And then once we kind of had that title, then that spun into Niklas being really inspired to create the cover artwork as well. So that, like 3 days later, after we decided on the name of the album, the album cover was finished as well. So it was kind of all very, very organic and cool, And I love that when it just happens spontaneously, where you just go like, "Whoa, we got it! This feels good. I feel inspired by this."
Oh, and I'm glad to see that too, because I really love the album cover for it, and it's awesome to see that it was just like 72 hours later that it was already done after you guys came up with the name.
Yeah, it was the exact same thing as with Construct like 3 years ago. We were like struggling with a name, and I had Construct in mind, and I was really, really passionate about it. It's like, Construct will be the perfect title for the album. And Nick was just, all right. And he was so overworked, and he had so many other projects, and the recording of the album took all of his energy, and it was like, maybe we have someone else do the cover. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll find someone else, but give it a stab, like, just try it. Then, of course, he did, and, like, the next morning, the album cover was finished. So, he works great under pressure, but when he has, like, that strikes him, then he does his absolute best work for sure.
Oh, that's so amazing. And of course, with the release of Atoma, you guys are going to be hitting North America with Swallow the Sun, Enforcer, and Starkill.
Yes. Look forward to this. This is going to be awesome. We're in mid-rehearsals right now, like making sure that all the songs sound cool and preparing the whole show, everything like that. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's fun too, since the tour kicks off on the day of the release of the album. So it's really it's going to feel fresh and cool, and we haven't really done that before. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me as well, because the first time I saw you guys was... my first experience seeing you guys live was opening for Opeth at First Avenue in Minneapolis for the Ghost Reveries tour, and then just last year seeing you at the Triple Rock headlining, and just that span of being a fan from seeing you open a show to headlining a show in Minneapolis, and just seeing the growth of the band and the growth in North America is just so fantastic to see.
I love that too. I mean, that's one of my favorite thing about touring America. Like it's like a constant growth. So like it's like a steady trajectory, that I really like. We're going back to some venues, but most of them are being updated to bigger and better ones, and it's just like it's happening. Like, and we love touring. So we're going to 2 tours in America and one next year as well. Like within a year at least, we're going to come back and do it again. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like this is the highlight of the touring cycle for me.
In next year, is that also a headlining run?
That's the plan. We haven't really decided on all the details about it yet, but it's going to happen like after the summer, I think, or maybe after the summer.
Oh,
sure.
Very
after
cool.
all the European summer festivals.
Oh, sure. One of the most amazing things about you guys is not just the songwriting and what you guys are capable of, but being able to perform the songs as tight live as you guys do. Especially when I saw you guys last year with Insomnium, you guys put on one of the most absolutely tight shows that I've ever seen a band perform live. How much effort
thank you.
Oh, not a problem. How much effort does it go into being able to play that tight together?
I guess, I mean, we've been rehearsing like crazy ever since we started. That was I guess the main thing about playing it together was that so we can hang out in the rehearsal room and play music. We started rehearsing in the first couple of years. We rehearsed for like 10, 11 hours a day sometimes. Just stopping for lunch in my parents' house, and then we went out to the garage and just kept rehearsing. We've always had like a nice, cool rehearsal place really close by where we live, always kind of like walking distance from wherever we are in the city. And it's something that we always enjoy doing, like just going down to now we're in a basement somewhere, and it's cool. Like sometimes you just need that release, like going down there screaming and sweating for a couple of hours, a couple of times a week. It just there's just something that we grew up doing, So for us, it's not really that much of an effort. It's just something that we love to do, And of course, it is important, just like to make sure that everything sounds the way we want it to. And now we have like one new guy in the band, new bass player, Anders Ivers, who's bringing incredible musicianship to the band. For the American tour, replacing Martin will be a guy called Eric Jakobsson, which is a great guitar player as well and super tight. So we're working with him right now to make sure that he totally fits in the band, and so it's going to be cool. And it's something that, of course, it's always been important, but it's not about, like, for us, it's not about like pulling up the most technically advanced show or whatever. It's just a matter of like making sure it sounds exactly the way we want it to sound, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes me so shocked when I saw you guys headline, was because everything was just so completely tight together and completely solid. Like, I don't even think I heard any mistakes from anyone on stage, which is almost unheard of in a live setting.
Well, you must have been semi-drunk, but yeah, but it was, I mean, at least we do try, but there's definitely some mistakes every night, but maybe only I hear them.
So, and speaking of that, with putting a new set together for North America, how are the new songs coming along and fitting in with the other songs in the set?
It's starting starting to feel good. It's always strange, like where do we put them? Like, and we haven't really started like that. We've only started playing the songs like 2 weeks ago or something like that. But they started to feel really good, and then we're just gonna figure out how they fit into a set, and how many of the new songs we do as opposed to the old stuff. And it's always a nightmare. But it's fun, and hopefully we can get away with playing a lot of new stuff, because that's always the most fun for us, obviously. And hopefully, and I guess we've noticed that the last couple of years that we've been fortunate enough to have people not complain about us doing new songs, and at least in our book, that means we did something right. That's the best review you can get for a new album, that we can actually play a lot of these new songs, and no one says, "Hey, play more of the old stuff," that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's got to be a great feeling, rather than being forced to make a best of set that's just the audience best of, where you can't promote the new product that you're out there to promote. It's great to see that you guys actually can.
Yeah, I mean, for us, that's fantastic. That means that we're still got it, so to speak, because I hate that when I see bands that don't really feel comfortable playing the new songs, because they know that maybe that's not what people want to hear. I think you have to be confident and kind of go right ahead and dig into it. So maybe we do a lot of new songs on this tour, and then maybe the next one we'll focus on more on older stuff. Who knows? But for now, I think there will be heavy emphasis on the new songs on the tour.
Well, I'm glad to see it, because I absolutely love the new album. I know it's definitely going to be one of my favorites at the end of the year, and I can't wait to see the show at the Triple Rock in Minneapolis coming up, and being able to see those songs live, and just see you guys put on an absolutely phenomenal headlining run once again.
Holy shit, you have high expectations. Now we have to live up to your inflated standards. All right, we'll do our best.
Well, awesome. Well, once again, thank you for taking the time to do this interview. As a longtime fan, this meant the absolute world to me to be able to talk to you and be able to promote the brand new album Atoma, which comes out November 4th, which is also the start of the North American run with Swallow the Sun, Enforcer, and Starkill.
Yes.
Before we're done...
very cool.
Oh, yes. Before we're done, is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't brought up yet?
No, I'm just super stoked. I just hope that everybody comes out to the shows. The tour is going to be amazing, and buy the special edition CD that we're going to bring on tour as well. We've got 2 bonus tracks that are pretty spectacular, in my opinion, and it's going to be a cool tour, and a great upcoming year, I think, for us, and cannot wait to share it with all of you guys.